All right, Prime Roasters, this is a very sobering morning for Chris and I. Not only is it the morning of September 11th, but also at least, yeah, I know Chris and I have been mourning Charlie Kirk's death since we heard yesterday. Chris, 24 years ago, I woke up as a little, I wasn't a teenager, but I was little, and it was my first day of politics. I was a poll watcher in the New York City mayoral primary election, and I couldn't wait to start, I guess, watching little old ladies come into the polling stations to cast a vote for the mayoral candidates. And I remember stepping outside on Houston Street in Sullivan and looking up and seeing the World Trade Towers on fire. And I thought, what an idiot. I didn't know what was going on. I just heard a big boom and I said, what an idiot. Someone flew a little plane or something into the World Trade. And of course, that whole entire day exploded to where we are today. I was a little bit lucky in that I didn't we didn't have cell phone reception for a number of hours in New York City that day. And I didn't watch the towers go down on television because of, I guess, reception, or I'm not sure why. I actually watched it from the corner of my house in New York City. And I think I could say the same thing about today after Charlie Kirk's shooting yesterday. I tried not to watch the videos on Instagram and social media over and over again of him getting shot in the neck. I did see it once, and that's how I learned about the news. But there's something about having those imageries play over and over and over again. It really does affect your psyche. And I didn't want to watch it. We know he's dead. But I don't want that seared into my mind, because I think a lot of people didn't sleep very well last night, certainly conservatives. How'd you sleep last night, Chris?
I usually sleep pretty well. Unfortunately, that's just what we're conditioned to at this point. I'm not going to. First off, as you know, we didn't play our nice, fun little intro because this show did not call for that this time. We're going to be taking a more serious tone. Charlie Kirk, I did not know personally. I followed some of his work. I thought he was an excellent voice for the younger generation of conservatives, and he will always be that because his videos will live on. And believe me, he will live on the minds of us. Let's say more. Well, let's put it this way: definitely the younger folk, and us who are born at, well, we'll just say, a more comfortable distance from the apocalypse. Anyway, the idea is that this man, a young 31-year-old, who made his career on, yes, he said some very, very provocative things. I didn't always agree with them, but that's a good thing. You're not supposed to agree in lockstep with everybody. On the other hand, he would sit down across the table from several people who disagreed with him and talk on an even keel. Give them a chance, and he'd come back. I know some people would try to scream and yell at him, and he'd shut them down, but he gave people the opportunity to talk and say, "This is my point of view. It's not like yours. Let's talk. Let's discuss things." And that is lost a lot in today's politics.
Yeah, he glowed when he had discussions with anybody. You could see his energy come through. And, he came in around the time when so many conservatives, especially college kids, were getting silenced on social media. He gave them the platform of TPUSA. He gave them permission and the blessings to be who you are. If you're a conservative, you have conservative values, you should be able to embrace it while the rest of the world silences you. So that's kind of how I will always remember him. Chris, I have a question. You brought up something about young people, and I wonder if that might have been a motive. I mean, so I've campaigned around college campuses, and I've been kind of booted out, not so much by campus police, but by young activists and college students who didn't like, that I was wearing a red hat, perhaps. And I wasn't even that bold. I was just, trying to register people to vote. But they didn't like that. And Charlie Kirk and TPUSA, they were able to do that. They had a pathway into young people's minds. And maybe that is the real threat, is that so much so that liberals, Democrats, that's their turf, right? We took the black men, we took the Latinos, we're taking the Asians away from Democrats, and they're moving over to the red. Their last stance is young minds, college kids, just barely able to vote and register to vote. If we get into the college campuses, that's the end of their survival. I mean, the Democrats. So maybe that's the real threat here. I know there's a lot of conspiracies rolling around because it's early days. It hasn't even been 24 hours since the guy has been killed, assassinated. But there's a lot of stuff going on. But I do think about that, because if Charlie Kirk is removed, that's young voters. And I'm sure TPUSA will have longevity beyond Charlie Kirk. And that's what he's built. I mean, I look at the figures after 2024, and I look at, who really kind of rise to the top as far as voices for the conservative and Republican movement. And Charlie Kirk was probably the only figure to make it in a way where it wasn't just about his name or his celebrity. He actually built a product. He built a movement and a product that will outlive his name. Unlike other talking heads out there, if they get smeared or there's some massive lawsuit or this, that, and the other, they go down with their brand. He didn't just build a brand. He built an entire money-making machine and a pathway into young conservative voters and, getting that movement going. So I think that's his legacy. And, I think the reason why I couldn't sleep last night is because I didn't know that he had children that were age 1 and 3.
Well,
And
he's
that
31. He was 31, had a young wife, obviously, young children. He leaves them behind. And the callous act that was this cowardly act, by the way, this was finding a way to get into a crowd and shooting and running away. It smacks of well planned, and I'd hate to say it that way. And I don't want to get into these leaks that we've had right now and
okay.
things I've been hearing on other channels, because much as I would like to say they're correct, I'm not a big fan of anonymous sources. We criticize anonymous sources here, so let's see what happens. I also understand that there are certain factions within each of the bureaus, no matter who's in charge, that don't want certain information leaked out about certain perpetrators. So we'll have to also understand that as well. So let's just keep our ears and brains open for this in the future, because there are going to be a lot of reactions to this. But the other thing I wanted to add to that is this man wasn't reactionary. He was teaching young people who were in colleges whose voices have been suppressed to say, hey, it's not wrong for you to think like this. It's not wrong for you to say, wow, family values are important. I would like to start a family and take care of my kids. Or let's say, let's say, wow, going to church is a good thing. Arming yourself, being careful, and keeping an eye on the government because of what they might do to people around you, that's important. The young people should understand that, instead of just regurgitate the indoctrination they've been getting at their schools, maybe at the hands of their village that it takes, as Hillary Clinton
But
would
that's
say.
the threat, right, Chris?
Yes.
The threat was that they had a chokehold on young kids. They could insert their, porous minds with all their ideology and all that stuff and just get them to repeat it, sing it, turn it into rap songs, whatever, right? And
Rap
Charlie
songs.
Kirk was the one speed bump, and his crowds were growing. There were 3,000 people there yesterday. I
Right.
mean, I looked at the crowd, didn't look like 3,000, but could be. Maybe it was televised. I don't know. But it was a lot of people. His moment and movement was growing.
Interestingly, one of the better responses I heard from the other side was from Cenk Uygur, one of the more notorious voices of the left. He's almost like a bully when it comes to people he doesn't agree with. But this time, this involved the death of somebody else, and he had to stop and say, "Look, this isn't fair." He was visibly upset, and was hoping to set an example for people on his side about the fact that a young 31-year-old was murdered, and it doesn't matter what side you're on. It was somebody who sat down with people and let other people talk to him. He was shot in cold blood.
Yeah.
And the reactions of some of the other Democrats. Well, let's go. I believe a video shows at least more than 1,000 words. If a picture shows 1,000, so let's go to one. Let's go to the congressional floor.
Our friend Lauren Boebert, the Republican Congresswoman from Colorado, asked for a moment of prayers and silence on the floor of the House of Representatives. Watch how this goes down.
What purpose does the gentlelady from Colorado rise? Let's wait a minute. Wait a minute. The House will be in order. The House will be in order.
So what you're seeing right here is Lauren Boebert makes the proposal. Speaker Johnson is trying to set this up and put a moment of silence together, and you hear the Democrats, some of them even cursing, dropping F-bombs because they just hate this Charlie Kirk.
That's their new thing. I mean, Democrats are dropping F-bombs left, right. I mean, they feel like, they feel like their constituents like it when they curse. Get that. All right.
And this, of course, is a video from Real America's
imbeciles.
Voice. I had to put that in there. It's a video from Real America's Voice, the Grant Sitchfield show, and it was his commentary as well.
Okay. No, it's just a weird Congress. I mean, like, I've been watching C-SPAN for 20 something years now. I don't want to admit to that, but I do. I love C-SPAN. I've never seen the floor, even when it's in disagreement, go to high school level disagreement like we just saw. And that's where we are now as a government. It is so ugly. And it makes sane people go, well, why in the hell would I ever run for office? Like, why would I want to get myself involved there? Because there's no civil discourse, right? So I have to say, I made a pledge this morning, Chris, on a different network. I was talking to someone I normally butt heads with on CNN, and he's a Democrat. I'm clearly MAGA chick. And we decided, we got to learn to talk to each other again. We may not have to bring down the temperature, but we have to learn at least to talk, not yell, scream, throw profanities. And just be able to have a conversation, even if at the end of our conversation we both walk away angry and we are we just don't agree with each other. At least we don't pick up a gun and kill each other. That's where we are now. I think James Wood said it best in his tweet after yesterday's killing, which was, we don't have a gun violence problem. We have a Democrat violence problem. Now, I know those are war words, and I'm sure Mike, who I just made a pledge with to be nice, the Democrat. But I think that's what this is at this point, right? We're so heightened and we're so sensitive that words now literally kill. And I think that's where we are. I've been asked in the last, 20 hours or so, what we can do about this problem. I've thrown out solutions before, like congressional this, bills that, but maybe it's not even that. It's just we really have a massive, massive problem. And I thought a lot about it last night. A lot of it is our social media. The clicks and likes, guess where they go? They go to violent videos. The more violent the video, the more likes and clicks it gets. And we have a problem with that.
That's unfortunate, and this is absolutely unfortunate, Angie. And this is where America's kind of bloodthirstiness goes. Look, we see the violence in movies and they think it's a lot of fun, but now it's in real life. You get these videos on TikTok or whatever they listen to, the TikTok or whatever the kids watch, they go on the MySpace and stuff like that, or Snoop Chat, whatever the kids use, but they just love passing around these videos and watching them. And again, it's almost like threatening violence has become second nature. And this is where the left vitriol gets out of hand. And I've been watching them. Yes, there is a left violence. There is a problem with lefties going out shooting people. We had them try over the last couple of weeks to ignore the numbers of trans shooters when it comes to knocking off young children at religious school settings. This is a huge, disproportionate number of certain populations shooting up children. That is something that we have to talk about, but they won't, because a lot of media pundits are afraid of being called anti-trans or transphobic, whatever they want to call it, racist or anything like that.
I think that Band-Aid's been ripped, Chris.
Yes, but these are people on the left who are still afraid of being or not being accepted at their cocktail parties. Where you might see one or two break off, but this is why the honest conversation is not getting there, because the mainstream media refuses to allow it to happen. And now you're going to talk about the fact that people like Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters have been screaming about how evil the right has been over the years. You had Ted Walls standing in front of a crowd saying, I thought I would get a phone call the other day. I was hoping I'd hear one, in reference to the rumors of Donald Trump's death. These are people who wish death upon the enemy, who the left has successfully demonized.
Mm-hmm. And dehumanized. And I think that's the first step to actually any of these killings that we've seen of late. If you dehumanize your opponent, well, then you're justified in killing him or her. That's how it goes. So we're kind of we're a little bit past the first step at this point. In the minds of these killers, it's justified. And I'm sure that when this particular killer from yesterday's shooting is captured, it's somehow justified, at least in his own mind.
And J.B. Pritzker is one of the many who took advantage to spin it to another pet project or pet issue. This one, he talks about comparing what happened to Charlie Kirk to January 6th.
My sympathy to Charlie Kirk's family and to Charlie Kirk, who obviously has, become a target for somebody. I don't know whether it's political violence because I don't know who did it.
Yes, you do. You know it's political violence.
Somebody in custody. But I will say that political violence, unfortunately, has been ratcheting up in this country. We saw the shootings, the killings in Minnesota. We've seen other political violence occur in other states. And I would just say it's got to stop. And I think there are people who are fomenting it in this country. I think the president's rhetoric often foments it. We've seen the January 6th rioters who...
See, there we go. He had to bring up January 6th and the president's rhetoric. You want to hear some rhetoric? I'll play you some rhetoric.
You have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
What do you think that sounds like, Angie?
Oh man, I like the fist pump. That's like the old man fist pump, man. That's like when you can't lift your arms anymore. It's like that's when you need like some joint pain medicine. No, these guys have to retire. I don't like what you can't like. It's like pouring gasoline, lighting, the place on fire and saying, "Hey, I'm the victim here. Like, stop hurting me." Like, get out of here. These guys lit the fire. They lit the whole globe on fire. And now they're saying, no, not us. It's them. It's President Trump's fault. Get out of here, please. I don't know. It's like, I get it. It's a political assassination. I get it. All of the violence that we've been seeing lately, including that beautiful young Ukrainian refugee, all of it is stoked by politics. I mean, how do you not see that at this point? It's not like we're putting a political spin, although we could all day long, Chris and I. We love that stuff. That's our show. But, Chris, I got to tell you, I am sick of hearing isolated incident or mental health crisis or any of this, just kind of blanket coverall thing so we don't have to discuss it anymore. Like, these are real killings. People are dying. We're at war here. And it's not just a war of words where, we like that because we like debate. It literally is someone picks up a gun and kills you because they don't like what you're thinking. That's where we are. We're at that level now.
My friend Cherie Curry posted something you just said. It's time. They want a war. They just started one. But check this out. She also posted a nice compilation of the Democrats' greatest hits.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there is unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something
about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless?
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
There's a lot of these over here.
I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face.
See, this is what we're talking about here, Angie. You talk about dehumanizing. Now the idea is punch the Nazis. These kids, these LARPers out there, think they're part of the Inglorious Bastards crew. Remember that quote from the movie?
God!
We're here to kill Nazis. These guys were punching Nazi. And the fact is, why don't we start punching commies a little more often?
I mean, they're so tough. I don't know, man. And look, both you and I are from New York. Like, we could step on these cockroaches. You want to go? Let's go, man. I don't just talk tough. We get there because I don't know about you, Chris, but I grew up on in the streets, and you can't say words like that without following up. You can't just smack talk. I mean, Joe Biden smack talking is hysterical. He can't even walk up a flight of stairs, right? And this guy wants to smack talk. He's not even that good at it anymore because he doesn't remember how to finish the sentence. Like he drifts off.
Yeah, it's the auto Joe.
And it's like, what was I saying again? Right. All right. I'm really scared, Joe Biden. Get out of here. I'm just laughing because it's like they do it as a performative art, but they're all bark, right? You get in with them. You want to get in the ring because guess what? I do run a pack called the Capitol Hill Fight Club pack. More than happy to sponsor any, ring fighting if you want to do that.
All right. I want to stop you there because you said you actually, this is the mentality that we have on the right. They're all bark. And I believe that they are all bark.
The right?
No, on the right. We think the left has all bark. It's all just yap, yap, yap. Yeah, I'm trying to be tough. Or Chuck Schumer going, yeah, go get him. The fact is, you're right. The problem is the mentally deranged people that follow their every word as if they were cult leaders are in fact violent, or at least wish they were, and they go along with this rhetoric and take it to other levels. And some of them bring it to social media and embarrass themselves a little bit. And I don't even know. I would say that these people should be fired from their jobs, but I kind of guess that they don't have jobs, or their jobs are like those adult daycare jobs for the girl bosses, if you will, the lazy girls. Check some of these. Check some of the rogues gallery of leftist randos. We'll start with this one with the obvious attention-seeking haircut. Here we go. This is after Charlie Kirk's death.
So I'm going to be very fucking clear about this so that you know exactly where I stand. And I will say this with my whole entire chest. There are some people.
All right. What chest?
On this app that are sitting there saying, oh, you shouldn't wish death upon any person, no matter what side they're on. Fuck that. Fuck that. Charlie Kirk was a fucking Nazi. He was a fucking Nazi. And you know what kind of Nazi is the best Nazi? A dead one.
She is so clever, isn't she?
I wish I had time to dye my hair. I just don't, because I work and then I do politics as a hobby. Like, when does she have time? I mean, that hair dye, that needs time to saturate.
You probably look good in blue hair. You could infiltrate the left and you just get some intel from them. Here's another one doing her best impression of Nina Jankowicz.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Everyone's saying that it was such a senseless, violent act. I want you to remind yourself that it was God's plan. I mean, really, it was actually his fault because, he should have been wearing, a bulletproof neck brace or something. I cannot believe he walked out the house without it. I mean, really, you have to be aware.
I believe he was wearing bulletproof. Supposedly, I'm hearing he was wearing a bulletproof vest, but that's another issue.
What you're wearing in public so that, people don't target you. And you don't become a victim. So I guess this is just another example of God's plan in action.
See, what she's doing is now she's insulting people who are religious because a lot of people say, well, people get cancer or people have problems because it's God's plan. God doesn't give you anything more than you can handle. And she's actually making fun of everybody who she just absolutely hates, thinking she's the self-righteous princess. Well, by the way, too.
She reminds me of a Disney character. I can't remember which one, though.
Was it Cruella de Vil?
Yeah. No, it was...
I wouldn't let it go up near her.
No, she looks like the octopus lady in Little Mermaid. Doesn't she? She's got the same face. Yeah, let's make fun of her.
That's a good one. I like that. I think we'll give you that one. Yeah,
look at that evil smile, man. I mean, she's got the right face and the right makeup for it. I don't care if she's wearing a college sweatshirt. Look, people taking joy in anyone dying is just crazy. Absolutely crazy. I just don't see how there could be any joy in that.
Well, if you want to talk about joy, let's take a look at this one. She's expressing joy over Charlie Kirk's death, but look, another part of the uniform here, as you can see, the attention-seeking glasses. If you're too afraid to get the attention-seeking haircut and you think the nose ring hurts.
I'm just really glad Charlie Kirk just got himself fucking shot, because he's right. Empathy is dangerous to society. So no one should give a fuck that he's dead.
You know what? You might think, and I understand he said empathy to a degree is dangerous to society, and he meant something different from what this person's saying, but I would think a shower would be really good for her. What do you think?
I don't know what's going to write these people. I mean, look, she made a video that pretty much is going to end any sort of career she's ever going to have. I just
career
don't...
in what? Complaining? I mean, I think she's pretty good at that.
Yeah, maybe she could be an MSNBC or MS Now contributor. I don't know.
Well, the token firing of Captain Weenie Matthew Dowd was brought up an opening, so maybe she can go there. And then believe me, I'm going to say this because of all the rhetoric they've been pushing for the last, I don't know, many years, decades, if you will. They're part of the whole problem here. This firing of Matthew Dowd for what he said, which was heinous, is a token firing. He was pretty useless as a commentator to begin with. He's expendable. So let's leave it there. Let's go to another one of these. And this is another one of the typical privileged white liberal women who think that it's a great thing that somebody in the opposition died.
Hi, Donald. Thought I would check in after, today's activities. Charlie Kirk? I mean, he himself said a couple of deaths here and there aren't so bad to keep our Second Amendment right. And then later, another school shooting, another one. Hey, by the way, I'm wearing a shirt just...
Oh, by the way, if you're going to be wearing a shirt with words on it, make sure that you set the camera properly so people can read it instead of having to read it backwards. This woman is trying to prove how clever she is with that little snarky voice, the smile. Ooh, Charlie Kirk, Donald Trump. Ooh, look at my shirt. But this is the kind of low mentality.
Is it low mentality?
And what happened? No, the whole thing. It's a low mentality that revels in the death of a 31-year-old who happens to disagree with them.
And like lots of liberal arts degrees being thrown around there as well.
Well,
why? I mean, what is the commonality between all the videos that you just showed me?
Again, low mentality, extremely low mentality, probably low IQ,
and white liberal women.
Yes.
Why? What did we miss something, Chris? I don't think this is just an across the board statement, but there seems to be a commonality. And did we miss something here? Did we forget, an entire bracket of people to kind of, get to? I don't know. I don't know why all these videos are being made by women, middle-aged, wearing weird T-shirts, haircuts, glasses. It's the same look. I don't know.
Oh, it is. It's pretty much a uniform, if you will. Like the attention-seeking glasses. If in fact you're too, let's say, wimpy to get the attention-seeking haircut, or you think the attention-seeking nose ring is going to be a little painful. Some of them just do one of the three. Others, all three. They pretty much show each other who they are, and they show the rest of us who they are with their uniforms. And that's the thing. These are uniforms.
Right. So instead of a MAGA hat, you get the nose ring, or like
Well,
the
the MAGA hat's not a
interesting
uniform.
glasses.
See, the MAGA hat's not a uniform. It's just a hat, because a lot of people wear political slogans on their shirts and hats. I'm not going to call them a uniform,
Okay.
because that's been going on for over a century.
I mean, I just, I do wonder, because I want to be able to identify them before I get anywhere near them, or before I open up my mouth with my political speak. No, look, again, I think that today has been such a sobering day already. We miss Charlie. I mean, I am still thinking about it, and it's not even been 24 hours yet, and it's just the whole world has changed again on September 11th. And I must add that this is the first September 11th without Bernie Carrick, and I'll say that it's just a weird day all around. So we're gonna remember those who've died, who've been our heroes, who've been our patriots. And as the world turns, man, I think we're going to see a lot more of these killings, unfortunately, until we actually do something about the political violence. And I think that's what's been weighing so heavily on me, because between 9/11 and yesterday's killing of Charlie Kirk, it's all coming from the same hate.
Exactly.
And I just don't know what to do about it.
And again, the brutal stabbing of Irina Zarutska, where the perpetrator was dancing in victory, how he got the white girl. And the media spinning that one around too, and trying to hide some information. And
the mayor was trying to hide it.
The mayor thanked her media partners. And I originally planned to go on about that today, because the idea of we always talked about how incestuous the Democrats were with the mainstream media, and they worked in cahoots together for a lot of things, especially to spread propaganda. At this point, V. Lyles, the mayor of Charlotte, actually said to the world that the media and Democrats, the media and American left, all partners. And that's the truth. And we should delve into that a little more. Unfortunately, we're out of time.
We are out of time. We had so much to talk about with you guys today. I just, I wish everyone's safe. I wish that you can continue to speak your mind. Don't let the events of yesterday affect you. We will never shut up. Chris, you and I will never shut up. We can't shut up.